Going over the trip itself, over the Arabian Peninsula, you learned that your main rivals had to make an emergency landing near Japan. Can you remind us of your feeling, you and Brian at the time, when you learned that from radio?
You have to remember that it was a race between about 10 teams, each one starting where he wanted with his own strategy and failing. So nobody had succeeded before we took off. But when we took off, there was Andy Elson and Colin Prescott who were already in the air since 12 days. So if they would succeed, we would have been second. And it was really a direct race. We were trying to catch up with them. They were going around China because they had no permission. We had the permission for China, so we could make a shortcut. But nevertheless, there was a lot of suspense there. And over Yemen, I woke up in the morning and the mission control told me Andy and Colin have ditched in a thunderstorm in Japan. And of course I was sorry for them because you cannot wish any bad to a competitor, but so much relief because we thought, okay, now if we succeed, we're going to be the first, which means that it put even much more pressure on us at that moment.
Yeah, and then you also reached China, and then you had the Pacific in front of you. And in the book, Brian said that he told you, you realized that all the way we came here from Châteaudet is shorter than the Pacific in front of us. How does that one feel when you hear that?
The Pacific was extremely impressive. The technical team had planned 4 days to cross the Pacific, and it lasted 7 days. We were short of wind. We were very close to the equator where no balloon had ever gone. That was a stressful moment, it's true. And we had 3 maps where it was only water. We just had the coast of Japan, water, 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 and then the coast of Mexico. So when you see this, you say, okay, until now, it was holidays. Now it's really adventure.
Serious stuff.
Yes.
I was speaking to your wife, Michelle, earlier, and she reminded me of an anecdote. I don't know if you remember. You told her you would fly around the world in a balloon, and she replied that you were too lazy and disorganized to do it. And she didn't know that it would lead you to go around the world twice. Do you remember that anecdote?
Of course I remember, because she just took 10 seconds to answer. For me, it was my new dream. And she said, oh, you are far too lazy and disorganized to succeed. And then she continued what she was doing. I thought, okay, I don't argue, I don't answer. And 6 months later, I came back to Michelle and I said, I found a constructor for the balloon. I found a meteorological team, an air traffic control team, technical team, and a sponsor. And then she looked at me and said, oh, like this you can succeed. And she continued what she was doing. It was so funny, but you know, it was really like a stimulation to really do well.
You proved her wrong. You proved her wrong.
My only exit road was to prove her wrong. And she was happy to be wrong.
Yeah, for sure, I can imagine.
But you know what? Maybe if she had not told me that, I would have failed, because maybe I would have taken it far too light.